Hello gardeners! In today's video, we're covering the top essential garden task tips and reminders for December. Not what to plant, but the jobs and projects you need to do now to keep your garden thriving through winter and set yourself up for a productive spring season. If you're new here, my name is Jara. I'm a lifelong gardener, permaculture designer, and I own a seed and plant nursery in Orlando, Florida. I love to share my knowledge and teach others how to garden and grow food, so you've come to the right place if you want to improve your gardening skills. My first garden task for December is to be ready to cover plants as cold fronts start rolling in. Install your preferred frost protection, frost cloths, mini greenhouses, or even do-it-yourself hoop tunnels. Focus on heat-loving tropicals and fruit trees like mangoes, bananas, and papayas. And just a pro tip, start tracking each cold front in a garden journal. Note the date, the lowest temperature, and which plants showed any kind of signs of damage. Over time, you'll build a record of how your specific garden plants respond to cold snaps. After a few seasons of doing this myself, I learned exactly which plants are truly sensitive to the cold in my microclimate and which ones handle the chill just fine. Now I focus my efforts only on the plants that will actually get some cold damage. It's a simple habit that saves a lot of time and worry every winter. If you're worried that the cold might take out some of your most favorite plants, take cuttings now and root them indoors. You can also dig up bulbs or rhizomes like ginger or turmeric, divide them and repot up for next spring. That way, even if the mother plant, so to speak, doesn't make it, you've got backups ready to go. Now here are some tips and tasks in regards to fruit tree care during the winter. When temperatures start dropping, most gardeners rush to cover the tops of their plants and forget about protecting the roots. If the roots and main stem stay healthy and survive, your tree can regrow new branches and leaves in spring even if the foliage got damaged. One of the best ways to insulate your fruit tree roots is to apply a thick layer of mulch around the base, about 4 to 6 inches deep. Use wood chips, leaves, or straw to lock in warmth and protect the soil from freezing temperatures. Just be sure to keep the mulch a few inches away from the trunk so it doesn't trap moisture against the bark, which can cause rot. Another great trick is to deep water your trees before a cold front moves in. If there is water in the soil, it will take longer to freeze through when compared to dry soil. In some, mulch heavy and water deep before a cold front arrives. Here's a lesser known but super effective tip. Give your fruit trees a foliar spray of liquid zinc and boron. These two micronutrients are often missing in our soils, especially in Florida's native sandy soil, and the deficiency can quietly reduce your fruit yields year after year. If you have a self-fertile type of fruit tree, meaning it does not require another fruit tree to cross-pollinate with in order to produce fruit, and this tree flowers a lot but then barely any fruit ends up forming, my first guess is that it is deficient in zinc and boron micronutrients. Zinc and boron play a huge role in flower development, pollen viability, and fruit set. Without enough of these nutrients, you'll often see lots of flowers that simply drop off before they can form fruit. A foliar spray in December helps strengthen your fruit trees before they start to flower next year. These micronutrients improve pollination and boost the tree's ability to hold on to those blossoms, which means more fruit later on. This is especially important if you have fruit trees that flower during the winter time, like mangoes or some varieties of citrus and loquat. These nutrients help protect blooms from cold stress, low temperature, and temperature fluctuations, making the tree a bit more resilient through the season. I found this liquid zinc and boron foliar spray on Amazon. I'll link it below in the description. I mixed it per the directions on the package and applied it with a fine mist pump sprayer on a calm, mild day, ideally in the morning or late afternoon. 1 or 2 applications through wintertime is plenty. Some fruit trees like peaches, plums, grapes, and nectarines drop their leaves and go dormant during the winter, which is completely normal. While a tree is dormant, there is no need to fertilize them. But evergreen fruit trees like citrus, mangoes, and avocados do not go dormant and are still active during the wintertime. Therefore, I fertilize evergreen fruit trees year-round with a fruit tree fertilizer or something like Espoma citrus tone to maintain healthy glossy green leaves. For mangoes, avocados, and lychees, use fertilizers higher in phosphorus and potassium, but lower in nitrogen. Too much nitrogen will cause lots of fast growth with thin and weak branches that won't be able to support the weight of fruit. And finally, let's discuss some garden-related planning to get you ready for the new year. December is seed catalog season. Every major seed company, including mine, is releasing new varieties for 2026. If there's a particular variety of something that you really want to grow next year, I recommend you buy the seeds now, before the spring gardening rush begins. Seeds sell out fast, and it's a huge bummer when what you want to grow is sold out. Set aside one cozy evening this month to sit and brainstorm for the new year. If you have a garden journal, it's a great time to review all your notes so you can make the best plans possible. Think about what worked well this year, what didn't, what did you struggle with the most, and what can you do to improve your garden next year. Ask yourself which crops thrived with little effort. Do you need to improve the soil, irrigation, or plant spacing? What failed and why? Diagnosing the cause of your failure is super important so you don't make the same mistakes again. The biggest cause of failure in the garden is dealing with pests. But don't worry, I got you. I have a video where I categorize pests into 3 groups and explain how to identify which one you're dealing with so you choose the correct treatment to get rid of it. I'll link that video below in the description so you all can brush up on your garden pest control skills. And lastly, I want to remind everyone to support the 3 Bs, the birds, butterflies, and bees during the winter. This is a tough season for them because they struggle to find food, shelter, pollen, and nectar. Birds are some of the hardest workers in the garden. They eat countless pests like caterpillars, beetles, and worms. But during the winter, food sources like insects and berries are scarce. To help them out, set up a few feeders filled with seed or suet blocks for extra calories during the winter. Add fresh water sources, even a simple bird bath or shallow dish will do. Just refresh it regularly. Plant more evergreen shrubs because they provide protected nesting areas through the colder months. Bonus points if you plant shrubs that also produce food like berries during the winter months. Giving the birds a safe haven now will mean they will stay in the springtime to help keep pest pressure down. As far as pollinators, bees, of course, are the best, but during the winter they struggle to find food and shelter. To support them, install bee or insect hotels or bundle a few hollow canes together so solitary bees can overwinter in them. If you live in a mild winter climate, try growing blooming plants like African blue basil, salvias, or Japanese buckwheat, which, by the way, also makes for an excellent cover crop. These provide valuable nectar and pollen when almost nothing else is flowering. Supporting the bees during the winter means you will have more of them visiting your garden in spring. If you're in the southern portion of the United States, it's monarch butterfly migration time. To help them survive, avoid heavy pruning or garden cleanups until spring so they have some hiding spots to protect their chrysalis. You can also plant or maintain nectar sources like zinnias, salvias, hollyhock, and liatris, all of which can bloom through the cooler months in warm zones. Butterflies really like large, flat flowers because it's easier for them to land on them. By feeding and sheltering the birds, bees, and butterflies through winter, you're not just being kind, you're investing in your garden's future health. These creatures will repay you in spring with natural pest control and pollination. All right, friends, that wraps up my December garden tasks, tips, and reminders. By tackling these now, your garden will stay healthy through winter and explode with life when spring arrives. If you haven't seen it yet, watch my December garden guide next, where I share a ton of planting ideas you can grow right now in December. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and feel free to drop a comment and let me know what garden projects or tasks you're tackling this month. Happy gardening, and I'll see you in the next video.